do-it-yourself hunting saddle. That's right, this is Sean McVeigh with Sean's Outdoor Adventures, and in this video I'm going to talk to you how I made a do-it-yourself hunting saddle. And I'm just going to start with the harness right here. This is a tree arborist harness, more or less. I got it for around $60 off of Amazon. I can provide a link for these things if this is something that you have any interest in at all. So I got this harness. It came with like aluminum clasps on the side for your lineman's belt where that ties in. There's also some metal hoops here, and I just camoed them up so that it would be quiet when you hook a carabiner to it, and you know, so it wasn't clinking around. To do that, I just use some adhesive fabric. This is made by the Allen Company, and it's intended to go in your sight window so that when you're putting an arrow on your bow, if you hit your bow with the arrow, it doesn't make a loud clink noise. I just cut it into 1/4-inch strips and then wrapped it around the metal here, and that camoed it up and quieted it up for when you have a carabiner on there. So that's the saddle. And hanging in a saddle like this all day would get a little uncomfortable after a while, so you typically use a sit drag. This is the sit drag here. So it's intended to be able to, you know, you strap this end around a deer and drag it out of the woods, or you know, and you put this over your shoulder, or you sit in it and hang it. Now, I did set this up the other day and hang in it, and one thing I noticed is that it was a little too long in here, which enabled you to sway a little too much. So what I would recommend, or if I'm going to use this, is tie it here. I'll just tie a knot, throw a knot in here real quick to show you. So just, you could throw a knot in, and then that shortens it up. So the point is, when you're tethered to the tree and it's a longer distance, there's more sway. So you want to shorten that distance up so that your tether is right around shoulder height, and the distance to the strap is about like this. You don't sway as easily. That's going to make it easier for when you draw. So that's one thing I noticed. Also, well, in a minute I'll just go over to the tree so you can see a little footage of when I was in the tree, and a tip or two that I give you. I did buy a spool of rock climbing rope, and this is rated for over 1,000 pounds, so plenty strong enough. I cut a piece about 12 feet long, and when I first did this, I actually did a video using the one stick method. I posted it recently, but I felt like the rope was a little too long, so I shortened it up by taking some rope out here. I didn't cut the rope off. The reason being is if I'm ever in a situation where I'm on a real fat tree and I need more rope, I can lengthen this, and I still have that capability. So I just took that approach. For my prusik knot, I got rope that's specified for tying prusik knots, tied that on there. So you have a carabiner on the end, and this rope came stitched up. Rather than cut it off and put a knot in it, I just went ahead and used it as it is. I'm going to swap out the carabiner. I just haven't gotten around to doing that. But then you put a carabiner with a prusik knot on the cord here, and that way when you lock this into the sit drag, you can adjust the height by moving it up or down. And then all of your weight goes into the sit drag and takes it off of the harness. And this is just cups your butt and makes it a little more comfortable to just sit in it. So let's go out to the tree and see what this looks like in action.
All right, the scripture verse for this episode in the compound bow giveaway, which is a Mathews Vertex or Mathews Traverse, you pick the camo, the draw weight, draw length, all that. The verse for this one is 1 Samuel chapter 20, 36 and 37. I had to do this one for all you archers out there. 1 Samuel 20, 36, 37. If you're not familiar with that, I'm giving away a Mathews Vertex or Traverse, the winner picks. I'm also giving away an XOP tree stand, and I'm giving away a sharp old broadhead sharpener. That's going to be in December, so you'll be able to register on my website at the end of November. So check out my video series on that. I'll put a link for it in the description section of this video if you want to learn more. For this example, I have a tree stand hanging on the tree behind me, and I'm just going to use the seat of the tree stand as a platform. I haven't yet done a platform for this do-it-yourself rig. I actually have a friend over at Lone Wolf who they are now making a saddle platform, and he's in the process of sending me one. It's not here yet, but it's going to be very similar to this tree stand seat that I'm about to use back here. So let me go ahead and get on this stand. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and lock in here real quick before I get moving around. So I'm going to put this over my head, and where's my carabiner? Here it is, my Prusik knot. I'm going to lock this in to my carabiner. And I'm going to slide this up to the desired height, and I'm going to sit on this thing, which is going to take the pressure off of the harness. So right there, the tether going to the harness is limp, and all the weight is on this. So this is just I mean, you can get into all kinds of modifications with it, but this gives you a saddle. Now, one thing you're going to want to do is practice shooting out of this. Some people will put their knees on the tree for shooting. You still have the ability to sway in a saddle. So this is something you just have to get used to drawing, leaning out. And one thing you want to do, whether you're shooting out of a tree stand or a saddle, is you always want to try to pivot at the waist. If you just drop your arm, watch, I'm just going to drop my arm. If you just drop your arm in the aiming process, that actually changes all kinds of angling, and it'll actually throw off your shot. You always want to bend at the waist for a shot down. So in a saddle or tree stand, you're bending at the waist to keep all of your upper body angles square to what they're used to for your shot. But here you have, this is a do-it-yourself saddle. It's comfortable. My butt is comfortable, my legs are comfortable, and everything's working quite nicely. So if this is something you want to try, this is an easy way to put one together. The sit drag, and as I'm making this video and saying that, the UPS truck just left. I have a saddle being delivered right now from Tethered. They actually got in touch with me right after, the day after I got all of this material, and filmed the stuff I've already filmed for this video as far as getting these pieces put together. They said, hey, we'd like to send you out a saddle to try. So I'm going to do another video comparing and contrasting this homemade do-it-yourself tree saddle to an actual legit designed saddle, one that's intended for saddle hunting. So I imagine we're going to see some variations and differences that are going to make it more comfortable with something like that. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you've subscribed to my channel. Hit the bell icon so you don't miss a single upload, especially if you're in the giveaway for the compound bow, the XOP tree stand, and the Sharpple broadhead sharpener. Until next time, take care and God bless.